Honestly, the rate of vaccination in Great Britain is impressive and the campaign one of the most successful in the world. But Prime Minister Boris Johnson has a problem. Some sections of the population do not trust the state and refuse to be vaccinated. This is fatal in two respects. Shannon is happy for everyone who gets the vaccine against COVID-19. But that's nothing for me, she says. The vaccine hasn't been tested long enough. I would rather get the virus again than have a foreign substance injected into my body, said the British woman on BBC Radio this week. She herself has already contracted COVID-19 twice. Nevertheless, she prefers to continue to rely on the defenses of her immune system, which only lasts for 6 months, as we know here. Shannon is speaking on behalf of many who, like her, belong to the UK's black minority. While more than 91% of the over 70-year-olds, white Britons, as the statistics call them, have been vaccinated against the virus, the British from the Caribbean come to just under 69%. Of the British from Africa, it's even less than 59%. A suspicion that worries the Boris Johnson administration, because it is precisely the ethnic minorities in the country that have been and will be hit harder than average by the pandemic. British men with black African migrant background are 2.7 times more likely to die from COVID-19 than white men. On average, among people with Bengali, Pakistani or Afro-Caribbean background, more than 250 people out of 100,000 died. There are 107 men from the white population, reports the British Statistical Office, ONS. A few days ago, Downing Street started a campaign in which black celebrities like actor Lenny Henry encouraged his fellow black citizens to vaccinate. Dear Mum, dear Dad, dear Grandma, dear Grandpa, we love you and we want to see you again. But to do that, everyone would have to be vaccinated. We are all in the same boat, he said. But that's exactly what many representatives of the black community doubt. There is little trust in the state and its authorities. Since immigration from former colonies in West Africa and the Caribbean began in the 1950s, many of these British people have suffered from a lack of equal opportunities and everyday discrimination, despite that report that just came out. Even today, unemployment among young people in this group is twice as high as that among their peers from the ethnically white group. Black youths are arrested by the police at roadside checks almost 10 times more than white ones. Brits with a migrant background also traditionally distrust healthcare. This is strengthened by collective memories such as the one of the Tuskegee syphilis study, in which US medical professionals and health authorities used black workers, who mostly could neither read nor write, as guinea pigs for decades. When two French doctors suggested testing vaccines in Africa at the beginning of the corona pandemic in the spring of last year, it sparked not only violent protests, but also very bad memories. Confidence in the vaccination program is undermined by structural and institutional racism and discrimination, said a recent report from the official scientific advisory board of Premier Johnson. A finding that currently goes very against the grain of the Conservative. Because Downing Street presented an official report last Wednesday that systemic racism does not exist in the kingdom. Rather, the country is a role model worldwide for the integration of ethnic minorities. Too bad that another official report says something different. Johnson commissioned this report in response to the Black Lives Matter protest last summer. The result immediately met with harsh criticism. The report is a blank check for the Conservatives and an insult to everyone whose life is marked by daily racism, according to the organization Hope Not Hate. Samuel Kasumu, Johnson's anti-racism policy advisor, announced his resignation on the day of the publication. I made a video on that one. According to British media, the report was the activists' final push. Kasumu had allegedly wanted to leave his post 2 months earlier, and I reported on that time too, because he no longer wanted to support what he believed to be the divisive policy of the Conservative government on the sensitive issue of racism. The lack of trust in the state triggered by ethnic discrimination is particularly fatal when citizens look for information on the internet and sit there lying about the vaccine. In a nursing home, we had to convince an employee that the vaccine does not make sterile. The young woman with Pakistani roots had read it on social media, said Stephen Cleesby, a general practitioner in Yorkshire, at the start of the vaccination campaign in January. The statistics also show that Britons whose families come from Pakistan or Bangladesh are comparatively less willing to vaccinate. For those over 70 years of age in this group, it is 74 and 73% respectively. As among the black British, general health is in this population group is below average. Diabetes, obesity and heart disease are common. At the same time, this group does many of the jobs in the low-wage sector, where they are exposed to the virus far more than other citizens, for example, as security guards in the supermarket or public service. And so this is really a big issue, especially when you have to think about that the whole vaccination thing will only help us if we get a lot of people vaccinated. Otherwise, there will be more virus spreads, and with the longer the virus is there, the more variants and mutations will be there. And then we can reach the point where the vaccines don't help anymore. And so it's important that in every country we get as many people vaccinated as possible. On a voluntary basis, of course. Nobody, although the rumors spread all the time, nobody will be forced to have himself or herself vaccinated. But I hope everybody will still do it, except a few idiots, and a few with health issues. But there are certain reasons why you shouldn't be vaccinated. But the most people that won't get vaccinated will be what we call in Germany Querdenker, or what is it in English? I hear all the time, it's COVIDiots. The minority will be those with health issues that prevents them from getting vaccinated. That exists too. But still, I hope it will be more than 75% of every population, so we can get rid of that mess in due time. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.